I can still clearly recall the events of that day, even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non-existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exams, so I decided I'd wear boots to school just to be safe. See you later! Say what? When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white-haired old woman lying on the ground, soaked to the bone. The fuck, man? Music, what is up? I frantically rushed over to her side. Are you okay? Stay with me, come on, tell me what happened. Was it a hit and run? The road running by my house is narrow and mostly used only by your neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't out of the question. I looked over the old woman's body as best I could. Fortunately, there were no signs of any serious injury. Doesn't seem like a car accident, at least. Young lady. I don't know if that is a actual woman. Old woman. I don't know. Yes? What? You must not go to school today. What? You absolutely must not go. Huh? The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. From the tone of her voice, she seemed terribly desperate. But I have to. Today is my last chance to practice for a college entrance interview. No, just stay home. Don't go. I have to go. The interview is part of the exam I'm worst at. Please, tell me what's wrong. Where's your family? Will you? Will you go no matter what? Oh, yeah. In that case, please. Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively as the old woman began digging through her pockets. She produced what looked like a crumpled scrap of paper. As she was digging around, I noticed that her breathing had become dangerously ragged, and began considering my options to assist her. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called Mom. But there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding in the unbroken gaze. You must take this. What is it? A charm. A charm? The old woman clutched my wrist and forcibly pressed the scrap of paper into my palm. Tilting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. At first, I thought I'd just been handed a piece of trash. What? But when I unfolded it all the way, I saw it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being. And there was a name written on its torso. Yu Shishido. What? Yes, my name, written plain as day in easily legible brush strokes. Why is my name on it? So it can protect you. Huh? If you don't write the name of the person you wish to protect, the charm won't work. Crazy. This is all crazy. I didn't understand any of it, save for one simple fact. This old woman was here specifically to give me this strange paper charm. Ow? As far as I were aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address. No. I would have just taken it and be like, well, thank you, and then walked away. I'm sorry, I know you came all this way to give me this, but I don't want it. You don't want it? Oops. As I extended my arm to return the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body unsteadily from the wet asphalt. Oh. Why not? Well... Oh my god. I've nearly killed myself bringing this to you. Why will no one listen to me? What? You must not enter Heavenly Host Elementary without this charm. Heavenly Host Elementary? You must not go. Don't go! As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost whatever, it became soaked through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turned into an ineligible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair. No, the charm! The way out has been lost! Yes. Ma'am, please calm down. Listen, you must not go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I think there's been some mistake. My school is Kisaragi Academy High. I've never even heard of Heavenly Host Elementary. Who is this woman? Oh God. What's wrong? An old woman collapsed in front of her house. Call an ambulance. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The old woman seemed to be unconscious by that point. However, so the EMTs brought out a stretcher.
お二人はこの方の関係者ですか？
Do either of you know this woman?
いいえ、家の前で倒れていたので救急車を呼んだんです。身元はわからなくて。
No, she just collapsed in front of our house. We've never seen her before.
そうですか。
Alright.
では付き添いで乗車はされませんか？
Would you be willing to ride with her in the ambulance? The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger, but we had a lengthy conversation mere minutes ago, so I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another.
ユイ、あんたは学校行っといで。
Yui, you need to get to school.
でも。
What? But...
この方にはお母さんがついていくわ。あんたは今日、面接の練習があるんでしょ？
Don't worry, I'll go with her to the hospital. You have to practice for the interview today, right?
そうだね。
Yeah, I guess I do.
それじゃあお母さん、お願い。
Thanks, Mom. I'll leave her with you then. Good luck. I was, okay. I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to school today, no matter what. So I left the strange woman in my mom's care, and heading towards school, walked right by her stretcher. Suddenly, a hand rose from the limp form of the old woman and grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away, but found myself ensnared by her terrible bloodshot eyes. You must not go! I feel like we should have heeded her words. After school, once my final practice interview had concluded, I reunited with my friends and engaged in the usual regimen of gossip and small talk. Can you believe that? That's really scary. The hell is wrong with her? When I described the events of that morning, everyone's eyebrows rose. They were hanging on my every word and yelping in unison at key moments.
Yui, 今日は家でおとなしくしておけばよかったんじゃない?
Yui, maybe you should have stayed home today after all.
だって今日は面接の最後の練習があるからどうしても来たかったし。
Well, I had that practice interview. I couldn't miss that, you know.
何か起きないといいけど。
I just hope nothing bad happens.
やだ、やめてよ。何も起きないって。
Oh, come on. What could happen?
思い出した。
Oh, you know what?
天神症って言葉がちょっと引っかかってたんだけどさ、七不思議に出てくるんだよね、天神症。
When you mentioned Heavenly Host Elementary, I thought it sounded kind of familiar, and I just realized why. You know the Seven Wonders, right?
七不思議って、うちの学校に伝わる如月学園七不思議のこと？
Seven Wonders? You mean those urban legends about Kisaragi?
そうそう。
Yeah, those.
天神症って何？
Does Heavenly Host Elementary have some connection to them?
放課後のよしえさんって言うんだけど、聞いたことない？
One of the stories is called Yoshi After School. Ever heard of it?
知らない。
Definitely not.
私も知らないよ。どんな話なの？
I've never heard of it either. What's it about?
如月学園が建てられる前にこの場所にあった天神小学校での話なんだけどさ。
Well, it takes place at Heavenly Host Elementary, which once occupied the same plot of land where Kisaragi Academy now stands. Oh, okay.
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。
It said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the grounds slipped and fell down the stairs and died.
その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。
The accident took place on a rainy October day just like this one and occurred just after 7 at night.
こういう日は ヨシエさんが出るんだって。
And supposedly Yoshi still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていないヨシエさんは如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
Even unaware that she died at Heavenly Host these many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kisaragi Academy believing them to be her own.
やだ、それ本当？
Come on, no. Is it true?
まあ実際見たことがある人がいるから七不思議になってるんじゃない？
Well, it wouldn't be one of the seven wonders if someone hadn't actually seen it happen, right?
怖。
That's really creepy.
ゆい、今日はもう帰ったら？そのおばあさんの言ってたことちょっと気になるし。
Why don't you head home?
ゆいだけ道が違うから一緒に帰れないじゃない？
Why don't you head home, Yui? You're the only one who doesn't live nearby, so we can't walk with you. And given the stuff the old woman said to you.
だね。お年寄りの忠告は聞いておくもんだよ。
Yeah, it's always best to heed the warnings of the elderly.
そうだね。なんかゾワゾワしてきちゃったし、もう帰ろうかな。
You might be right. I am still feeling kind of on edge. Probably best if I go home and check in with Mom.
それじゃあ先に帰るね。バイバイ。
I'll see you guys later then. Bye.
バイバイ。
気をつけてね。
明日ファイトだよ。
Give it everything you got tomorrow. I will.
私は慌てて荷物をまとめ教室を飛び出した。
I quickly packed up my things and rushed out of the classroom.
時刻は夕方5時になるところ。外は薄暗くなってきているけれど、階段の7時までにはまだまだ余裕があった。
It was already about 5. It was getting dark out, but if Kana's story was to be believed, I had until 7 before anything bad might happen.
だから怖がる必要なんてない。と、そう自分に言い聞かせて廊下を進む。
As I continue wending my way down the corridor, I just kept telling myself there's nothing to be afraid of.
それでも下駄箱にたどり着くまでの時間がやけに長く感じられた。
Even so, it felt like it took an extra long time to reach the shoe lockers.
あー、ダメだ。やっぱり怖い。
Man, I'm such a scaredy cat.
お、よう、シシド。
Ah, Tsukasa. Hey, Shishido.
司くん。
今帰りか？
Heading home? Yep.
なんだよ、その満面の笑みは。
What's with the big grin?
なんでもない。ね、途中まで一緒に帰ろうよ。
Hey, it's nothing. Hey, why don't we walk home together, at least part of the way?
ああ、いいけど。
Sure, I don't mind.
やった。司くんの顔を見たら一瞬だけだけど怖かったのが吹き飛んだ。こういう時男の子ってすごく頼りになるなって思う。
When I looked at Tsukasa's face, my fear vanished. If but for a moment. These are the times when it's really nice to have boys around, I thought.
そばにいてくれたら心強いなって無条件に思わせてくれるから。
I felt that as long as he was by my side, nothing bad could happen.
もちろんそれが気になっている人ならなおさら。
Didn't hurt that I had a crush on him, of course.
雨は朝よりも弱まっていた。その中を私たちは傘を差しながら歩く。
The rain had let up since that morning, though it was still coming down. The two of us walked side by side, umbrellas held high.
司くんとはたわいもない話でそこそこ笑ったりもしたけど、でも私はどこかぎこちなかったかもしれない。
Tsukasa was talking and laughing excitingly the whole time, whereas I probably came off as preoccupied. I'm sure it was awkward.
得体の知れない恐怖みたいなものがちらついて、いつもみたいに振る舞えている自信はなかった。
A vague sense of fear flickered inside me, and it was making me extraordinarily self-conscious. I'm certain it must have been reflected in my behavior.
シシド？
Shishido?
なんかお前、顔色悪いぞ。
You look kind of
どうかし
pale.
た？
You look kind of pale. Did something happen?
あ、
おい、
Hey.
実は怖いことがあって。
Yeah, something scary happened.
怖いこと？
Something scary?
私の様子があまりにおかしかったのか、司くんは心なしか表情をこわばらせて私を見つめた。
I probably seemed really on edge. Tsukasa was staring at me with this look of, object concern on his face.
真剣に話を聞いてくれようとしているのが分かって、私はちょっと嬉しくなる。
I was a little relieved that he asked, though. It felt good to tell him about what happened.
今抱えている恐怖をできることなら司くんと共有したかった。だから私は今朝あったこととカンナから聞いた怪談話を司くんに話した。
I filled him in on all the details and explained how they related to Kana's ghost story. I did my absolute best to convey the dread I was feeling.
だけど司くんは。
But Tsukasa was, well...
はあ、七不思議ね。
The Seven Wonders of Kisaragi High, huh? Yeah.
七不思議を信じるなんて夢があっていいな。
So you actually believe in that stuff? Sometimes I wish I could see the world through your eyes.
え？
What?
ん？
What?
司くんは怖くないの？
You don't think it's scary?
怖いっていうか妙だとは思うけどな。でもその謎のおばあちゃんと七不思議なんて単なる偶然だろう。気にしすぎだって。
It's weird, sure. I wouldn't call it scary, and I wouldn't worry about what that old woman said to you. I'm sure it's just coincidence.
でも
But...
あんま深く考えない方がいいんじゃね？
Wouldn't it be better not to dwell on it either? Either way?
そのばあちゃんは確かに気味悪いけどさ、ちょっと変わった人だっただけだろ。
I mean, yeah, your encounter with her sounds like it was kind of unsettling, but she was probably just a little off, you know?
そういうんじゃなくて。
That's not the issue here.
え？
Huh?
解決方法を教えてほしかったわけじゃないよ。
I wasn't asking you to solve my problems for me.
あのね、私は話を聞いてほしかっただけなの。
Look, I just wanted to vent, okay? I just wanted you to listen.
話なら聞いたじゃんか。
What do you mean? That's what I've been doing.
だから、そうじゃなくて。
No, not like that.
わかんねえよ。なんか怒ってんのか？
I don't get it. Are you angry about something?
男の子ってこういう考え方をする。
Guys always do this.
人によるのかもしれないけど、でも女子とは違ってすぐにこうすればいいじゃんって解決法を提示しちゃうのだ。
Yeah. It varies from person to person, of course, but guys invariably jump right into looking for solutions to your problem and giving you advice on what to do. So, well, it's not just guys. Not just guys. So, I know a lot of people do the same thing, and it's like, you're not letting me vent. It's like, you're not letting me vent talk about my problem. You're trying to give me a solution, and it's like, I'm not looking for a solution. I just want to feel better.
結果、女子は言いたいことが言えなくて消化不良になってしまう。
As a result, girls often can't be totally honest with them, or don't want to be at any rate, and are forced just to bottle up their feelings.
私は司くんと恐怖を共有したかっただけ。司くんが一緒に怖がってくれればそれでよかったのに。
I only wanted Tsukasa to share in some of my fears. If he were scared with me, that would have been enough.
この時の私は気にするなって言葉が司くんの気遣いだとわからなかった。
I didn't realize
めん
that...
どくさいのかなってむくれてしまったのだ。
So, I didn't realize... Teenagers. I didn't realize then that Tsukasa telling me not to worry was his way of showing concern. I just thought he was brushing me off, and frankly, that annoyed me.
朝に見たおばあさんの顔が、目が、しわがれた声が何度も頭の中でフラッシュバックする。
My mind flashed back over and over again to the face, the eyes, and the hoarse voice of that old woman.
それが怪談話で増幅されて、じわじわと私の気持ちを暗くした。
Amplified and distorted by the ghost story, these images gradually darkened my mood.
あんなに怖い思いをしたんだからっていう甘えや八つ当たりの気持ちもあったんだと思う。
Maybe I was traumatized by the events I experienced, or maybe I was just frustrated and needed to lash out, I don't know.
私と司くんはこの時初めて気まずい雰囲気になった。
But for the first time ever, things had become decidedly uncomfortable between the two of us.
それじゃ、私こっちだから。
Okay, well, this is me.
ああ。シシド。
He called out my name as I briskly walked away. I didn't really know why I was so angry or confused, but I did notice his voice was tinged with concern.
なんかあったら連絡しろよ。
If anything should happen, feel free to contact me. I considered turning back for a second, but changed my mind and pushed forward in a huff, leaving him behind. Oh, it's the worst thing you can do. I'm home.
ゆい、おかえり。
Yui, welcome back.
うん。
Greeting me at the door, my mother wore a somber expression. I could tell right away that something had happened. I stared at her with scrunched eyebrows for an awkwardly long time before she eventually reluctantly opened her mouth to speak.
今朝のおばあさんね。
About that old woman from this morning. Yeah. Yeah?
さっき亡くなったって病院から連絡があったわ。
The hospital contacted me. She passed away a short while ago.
嘘。
残念なことだけど。
I'm so sorry.
あなたは明日の推薦入試のことだけ考えていなさい。
You need to stay focused on tomorrow's exam right now, though. Yeah.
それじゃあのおばあさんの話はこれで終わり。さあ、ご飯にするから着替えておいで。
So, we should put this unpleasantness behind us. I'm getting dinner started now, so how about you get changed?
わかった。それじゃあ私部屋にいるから。
Okay, I'll be in my room.
ええ。
I'll call you.
お母さんがキッチンへと引っ込んでいくのを見届けて、私はもぞもぞと靴を脱いだ。
I watched
気持ちは一層重くなっている。
my mom work her way back to the kitchen, then wriggled out of my shoes. My mood had darkened even more.
司くんにあんな態度をとってしまっただけでも嫌な気分だったのに。
Sukasa's attitude was bad enough, but for the old woman to have died? Returning to my room, I couldn't muster the energy to do anything but collapse into my chair and sprawl out on the desk. I would have collapsed. The last thing the old woman had said to me echoed again and again in my mind. I began wishing I'd taken her more seriously. I should have accepted the paper doll and thanked her. I should have reassured her I wouldn't go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I mean, the place didn't even exist anymore, for goodness sake. I was exhausted. It was a hell of a day, and I no longer even had the energy to move. I needed to change out of my school clothes, but still sprawled out over the desk, my eyelids drooped closed, and I was out.